I don't like when it sounds like there's a waterfall on top of my tent. I don't like that. You take those side roads, you're in the wilderness.
Oh, nice.
That's the Snake Hill Church. That's good. Something marked with Native American rock shelters in this area. Let's see, I've never been here before, I don't know. There it is. That's probably one of those giant woodpeckers. Maybe we'll see it. Sounds far away, I don't know. Let me zoom out. Quartz. It's not high quality though. This is.
Here's this.
So there is some high quality quartz in the area.
Yeah, there's a few spots you could lay down and be protected from the rain and the wind. Maybe have a little campfire down there.
Well, if you put a campfire in something like this, if this heats up, it might fall. So if you go back and look at some old Les Stroud episodes of Survivor Man, he talks about setting a fire in rock shelters like this and his fear of the rock splitting from the heat and falling on top of him while he's sleeping. So you're not going to want to do that unless you absolutely have to.
Oh, we've got some nice quartz crystals right here too. Oh, look at that. Looks like smoky quartz.
So there's a few caves speckled throughout this hill, and all of those are large enough to get out of the rain, get out of wind, get out of storms. And if you had a camp here, you could put the fire right in front of the cave and it would still heat up the cave, and you wouldn't have to worry about what I was talking about earlier. All along this area, there's a lot of quartz outcrops, which is very good for stone tools if you don't want to travel very far from your homes, which would be right back up in there. So they could easily just come along in the woods here, which probably wasn't like this that long ago. But you could even go back to that little tiny creek and look for quartz cobbles in the water. Crack them open, make your stone tools right from your home. So what do you guys like to see on trails? Woods roosters.
Chickens.
Chickens. So what do you guys like to see on trails? Let me know in the comments. I just repeat that in. What do you guys like to see on trails? I'm going to show you what I like to see. The kinds of things that I like to see on trails when I'm hiking. When I'm hiking.
Is it cold? Good lord. Good lord. You're soaked.
What?
You're soaked.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another one.
Little tiny. It's that blue-gray stuff with the inclusions. You get a hammerstone. Blocky, but you could make some spear points out of that. I'm going to take this piece, but not this piece. This piece has a lot of the chalky stuff. So I'll take this. This looks good. The black stuff. Here. Hold this.
Oh, nice.
That's the Snake Hill chert. That's the really good stuff. This stuff in particular. Alright. Yes! This is what it came from. It's very, very smooth. Pretty good. Nice and thin. Pretty good. Let's see. This is the same stuff.
Is that a good piece?
It's not too great compared to that other piece we just found. No, that's more chalky and shale-like.
Kind of like limestone. A
Yeah.
little bit.
Tiny bit. Yeah. Hey guys, this is the last stop for me in the Catskills before heading up to the Adirondacks. And some of you might recognize this place from one of my older videos. And I'll link that right here. So you can click and see. All the rock is gone. It's been washed away. So that's what I'm talking about in that video, where I say that when there's a lot of rain, it moves a lot of the rock around. So as you can see here, there's nothing here anymore. It's all been, I mean, there's even a tarp that the rocks were on top of apparently, but everything's been washed away. So right about here under the water was where I found that giant block of flint that I broke up with the sledge. The mini sledge, my favorite mini sledge. But look at this. This water was all the way up to there even. The camera's, there you go. See how it's all pushed down? The water was all the way up there. Usually it's like a little tiny creek here. It's all been knocked down and washed away. So that means that there's probably flint down there now. So okay, just stopped in here. Wanted to poke my head in. And I'm going to head up to the Adirondacks now. So I'll see you guys soon. I'm gonna explore an actual flint mine. This is not so much a quarry as it is a mine into the side of a mountain. Now this place is pretty special, pretty interesting. There's lots of glacial erratics like this one that I'm sitting on. So what I'm doing is just exploring and trying to get a feel and understanding of these ancient locations where ancient people found their tool stones, and to try to get an idea of how they acquired in this case it's a rhyolite, but I'm just going to call it flint because that's what most people understand as a nappable material. So it's not at the top of the mountain. It's actually straight into the side of a mountain. And you cannot see any of this material from the top of the mountain. It just looks like granite to me. I'll just let you guys get a feel of this place. It wouldn't have changed much in the past 10,000 years besides that city down there, that little town, little city. The river was probably flowing a lot more at the base of this mountain. After stopping for that view, I'm going to go try to explore the actual mine itself. Now, from what I know about this place, there are no artifacts here, and there is no flint left. Everything was taken by ancient people and taken with them. They did not leave any tools. They did not leave any artifacts in the cave, and they left no flint. They took all of it. You could see the little scattered remains of what's left, but it's nothing that anybody could use. But it is still really, really cool to see this location. And for me, this is probably one of the most important historical sites in the Northeast, just because of how extensive this mining was. Right here is the mine entrance, and you could see that there's a boulder holding the entrance up. And inside you could see traces of the rhyolite, of what's left of it. And you could see where, I'm going to call them stone mauls, large rock hammers were hitting the inside of this cavern. And you can see they left a support structure up right in the middle here, and then quarried straight up out the top, right above this. This is what's holding the whole cave up. And this is one of the more interesting places that I have been to. It had a very strong energy to it. A very interesting energy to this whole area. The rhyolite would have been like a blue-orange, from what I know. I'm going to splice in an artifact here of this made from this material that is now long gone. If you think about doing this with Stone Age tools, this must have been quite an extensive project for these people over a couple thousand years of getting into this side of this mountain, probably with antler and stone tools. That's really crazy to think about, and to see that they had the know-how to leave a rock here, seeing where they were striking and what kind of tools they might have been using.
You see it? There's a little bit there.
To make this mine. And at the top, I could see that they were hitting with a large hammer, a large stone hammer. And they left that little bit of flint right there as the support beam. And that is, as you can see, it's all weathered and freeze-cracked, and
It's just,
They said they stopped.
there's not much left of it.
I'm curious.
I see what happened. I could see why they stopped using it. I can see why they stopped using it.
Why?
I did sit in this cave for quite a while, just contemplating and listening to the sounds. The sounds themselves were pretty amazing. The acoustics of the inside of this mine, the way the sounds from the outside of the cave coming in sounded really interesting, and there was a lot of water dripping, and the wind coming in was making a howling that I thought was really cool. To me, it looked like they were taking these out in bricks, almost bricks. But artifacts made from this material have been found all over the Northeast, and it was widely used material. It must have been really good to exhaust it, like there's nothing left, which is pretty amazing to me. They took the entire resource and used all of it. Now, they wouldn't have just been making spear points from this. They also would have been making their cutting tools, their knives, their scrapers for scraping hides, along with any other drill tool that they might have needed, or any number of things. So you could imagine how important this mine was to people if this was where they got their tools to be able to survive. So this place must be really special, really almost magical. I know it is to me. You could see in this shot that they came in through the wall and then mined back out right through the roof. And the mine itself is right at the top in the side where I'm zooming here. And that's where we just were. And I just wanted to share this location with you. I thought you would appreciate seeing another ancient spot in America. And the other spot that I wanted to check out, but we weren't able to on this trip, is Mount Washington, right there in the background, covered in snow. But we went to a campsite that actually had a fairly large creek running through it. There is a lot of quartzite, which is usable. You can use quartzite for knapping. And that in Vermont and New Hampshire, there appears to be a lot of quartzite in these creeks. So if you're looking for material to knap in Vermont and New Hampshire, you're going to be looking for quartzite. And to be able to identify quartzite, I have another video called No Flint no problem on my playlists, and you're going to want to check that out to be able to see what these quartzite and quartz materials look like in creeks and oceanside even. And the water is extremely clear up here, clear and blue tinted. Inside this creek was quartzite and quartz by large amounts. And when I'm investigating these creeks and rivers, I usually go in them with rubber boots, but I forgot my rubber boots, so I just went into the freezing cold water. My shorts. That was some pain.